Hey guys, I'm here with another casual Magic video. These videos are a little different than the budget decks I do. The budget decks I do, while they're budget, are definitely more expensive than these casual Magic videos I do. I've done a couple others. I did one on a Kosi's Trickster deck. I did one on a sort of a Knight Tribal deck that featured Light Minefield. And these decks are all really cheap, mostly under 10 tickets, so they're really like super budget, but they're also probably less competitive. And I just sort of do these on a, I kind of think of a fun deck idea and sort of throw it together as cheaply as I can, and then I play some games with it, and I show you guys, first I show you guys the deck as I'm doing now. um, and these decks are all like incredibly cheap on Magic Online. This one is right around 7 tickets, and I'll show you proof, that it's 7 tickets here in a few moments after I go through, discussing the deck. So basically, it's just, it's your standard burn deck. Um, and I wanted to make a deck in the current standard before Magic Origins comes out. I haven't made all the decks I've made so far for the YouTube channel have been they've been modern decks, and I do like modern more, but I thought it'd be good to make a standard deck, um, for the channel, and to make a standard deck before Magic 15 rotates out. And because of that, I was sort of looking at Magic 2015 cards um, that I thought would be a lot of fun to sort of build a deck around, and one of them is aggressive mining. And so I saw aggressive mining, sorry, and I thought it would be a really fun card to make, a mono red burn deck with, because one of the problems that burn decks have is that they, run out of gas. And basically, this deck is a burn deck, but it's really hard for it to run out of gas. I'll talk about the burn spells in a minute, but the ways we keep from running out of gas are we also have 2 outpost sieges, which aren't, as budget as the aggressive minings, which cost 1 cent, but they're, they're under a ticket, and we've got a couple of them in here to help us. We're almost always going to pick cons with this, and it's basically, a red Phyrexian Arena. It just basically draws you an extra card every turn, especially in a deck with this low of a curve. Um, and aggressive mining, meanwhile, can draw you 2 cards every turn. And it's important to remember about aggressive mining is that you can also do it on your opponent's turn, so you can draw even more cards. So you can draw 2 the turn you play it, and then on your opponent's turn you can draw 2 more by sacrificing lands. You can't play lands and so forth, but a burn deck doesn't need that many lands, and this deck is no exception to that. After we get to 4 lands, we can sacrifice any excessive lands we have. We can even play the mining on turn 4 and be fine in a lot of cases, because it'll just draw us so much gas. And we also have 4 Shamans who have, the effect Outpost Siege has for 1 turn. For 1 red mana, they can flip up, and they exile a top card of your library, and you can play that card until end of turn. So, the ideal thing is to hit a burn spell, and you can also beat down our opponents some more to help us kill them. So, those are the ways we have to make sure we don't run out of gas. And another thing that kind of helps us not run out of gas is Satyr Fire Dancer, who can, makes any burn spell we target our opponent with do damage to one of their creatures. So we don't have to waste burn on our opponent's creatures if we have Satyr Fire Dancer in play. We can just target everything at their dome. But anyway, the other creatures we have, we only have 12 in the deck, are 4 Monastery Swift Spears, which are pretty much a staple in a red burn deck. It's a staple in the modern red burn deck, and it's good here too. And it's not very, it's kind of expensive for an uncommon. It's something like half a ticket, but we still got 4 of them in here. And those are all of our creatures: the 4 Swift Spears, the 4 Ire Shamans, and the 4 Satyr Fire Dancers. So it's we're really not going to play very many creatures. And then we just have the best cheap anyway burn spells in standard. We've got 4 Wild Slashes, just 1 for 2 damage. Ferocious is never going to matter in this deck at all. We have 4 Lightning Strikes. It's just an efficient burn spell. We got 4 Magma Jets, which are good for 2 damage. And the Scry 2 is actually a pretty big deal, especially if you have aggressive mining in play and you really don't want to hit lands. You can Magma Jet and do your best to avoid lands. An Outpost Siege and Ire Shaman can also help you miss lands. Draw. Say you were going to draw 1 land, they draw you an extra card, and you draw something that's not a land, and because you just don't want lands when you have aggressive mining in play. We also have 1 Roast, just sort of as a removal spell. none of the spells in our deck can really kill huge things, but Roast can. I have another in the sideboard. We also have Twin Bolt. You can 2-for-1 people a lot with it, and it's just another efficient burn spell. Arc Lightning can 3-for-1 people a lot. It's pretty much our only sorcery, but we've got 4 of them. The rest are all instants, which is nice, and that's sort of all of our burn. We'll go over our sideboard real quick too. We got a couple Rending Volleys to help us deal with blue and white creatures that are hard to deal with. We have another Roast, like I said. We got Scouring Sands for token decks. It also has Scry attached to it, which, as I said, is pretty good in this deck. Shatter to deal with artifacts. Arc Bond, if we're pretty desperate for a board clearing effect, we can side in Arc Bond and use it to wipe the board. Seismic Rupture. Maybe I should run more than one in the sideboard, but it kills like all of our creatures too, and that's not exactly ideal. And we also have a couple of Tarkefreets in here in case we feel like we just need more creatures, more early guys. And he's also just, a really sneaky play where you can easily hit your opponent for 7 with it when they're not expecting it. And one Phyrexian Revoker to deal with problem-activated abilities. And now I will, as I said I would, show you what this deck costs. I went on to Magic MTGO Traders to see, and it's a little over 7 tickets, as I said, $7.04. Most of the stuff in the deck is like a cent. The exceptions we have in the main board are the Swift Spear, which are 63 cents because it's used everywhere. Wild Slash is kind of expensive. The Roasts are kind of expensive, and I don't think they're super necessary to make this deck work. And the Outpost Siege. Outpost Siege is the most expensive card in the deck at 96 cents, and we've got 2 of them. But yeah, the deck is very cheap, 7 tickets, like I said, and it's powerful as well. It really is hard for it to run out of gas. The one thing that can kill us is if our opponent really tries to overrun us with creatures. And we have a sideboard to try to help with that, but that is what it struggles against. But if we get the Fire Dancer in play, then that's not really a problem either. And it's just really fun. Burn is always annoying when you run out of gas, and this deck does a really good job of keeping from running out of gas, and that's why I'm calling it Gas Can Burn. Anyway, I'll play a few games with it for the channel, and I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you're enjoying the content, and thanks for watching.